guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is all about the best and the worst spring summer bags. I did ask you guys if you had any video requests, and one of you was nice enough to suggest this video, which I thought was a great idea. So I've gone through my entire bag collection and I picked out the styles which I think are overwhelmingly spring summer appropriate. Obviously you can make the case that a lot of bags are year-round bags, so I've really just tried to zero in on the styles which I think are overwhelmingly suitable for spring summer. I do have 13 bags here, so it's quite a lot, and I'm going to be going through them one by one, sharing my thoughts on just generally how much I like them, wear and tear, value for money, that sort of thing. But because there are 13, I am going to be going through them quite quickly, otherwise we're going to be here for hours. But at the end I will share the 4 bags I would pick if I just had to whittle my collection down to 4 styles for summer. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and let's get started. I did also want to let you guys know about 2 big luxury sales that have just gone live. I know not all of you are thinking about luxury shopping right now, but if you are, then there are some great deals to be had. The first one is US only, and it is at Essence. They are doing 20% off their entire site, and I think the only exclusion I found was Gucci. Literally everything else is included. I do have a whole blog post with all of my picks, so I will link that down below in the description section if you wanted to check it out. But there is Bottega Veneta included, like new season Bottega Veneta. There is Saint Laurent, so many Saint Laurent styles. Their stock selection is insane. There's Valentino, Givenchy, and SLG's shoes and bags are all included. So there is a huge amount included, and 20% off is a very decent discount. So I will put all the details and the discount code in the description section. And there is a UK specific discount code as well, so I believe this is only available in the UK, but flannels are having 20% off their entire site, and pretty much everything is included. So the Gucci Marmont line is included, there's a ton of Saint Laurent styles, Valentino is included, it's 20% off everything including already reduced prices. So it's definitely a good one. I do have another blog post with all of my picks, so again I will link that in the description section along with the discount code you'll need to shop it. So I'm splitting this up according to category, and first up I have crossbody bags, and the first bag that I'm talking about is the Louis Vuitton cross set, which I kind of have a love-hate relationship with. I love the look of it, which is pretty much the only reason I still have it in my collection, but I don't love a lot about the functionality. And the 3 issues I have in terms of functionality and also wear and tear. Number 1 is the handle. If you've owned anything with vachetta before, then you will know that vachetta is very prone to marks. I don't seem to mind it very much when it comes to something like my Neverfull, but here I guess because the handle is quite visible and it's quite structured, the marks bother me a lot more. I'm not really talking about general darkening because I actually don't mind that, but actual kind of spots and marks seem to happen a lot. I do actually carry it by its handle a lot. I always really have hand cream or hand lotion on, so I think it marks more than it usually would otherwise, but I don't love that, and every time I look at it I just see those marks, so I don't love that. I would say that the closure leaves something to be desired as well. So even though it's easy to open, in order to close it, it's just not as kind of fuss-free as you would want. You have to kind of push down, which dents the bag, and you have to fiddle around to actually get it in there. Yeah, that's closed. But it's not that easy and seamless, especially when you're on the go. It's just not the easiest thing to open and close. And then my third issue with it is that it does have the tendency to topple over, and I just have this on my shelf most of the time, and quite frequently it will just fall over for apparently no reason. It's very, very strange. So I do think it would benefit from having feet, which it doesn't do, and I guess because of that it's actually not that sturdy. So those are the 3 things I don't like about it. The capacity is actually pretty decent. You can fit a decent amount in there. The interior is quite plain, there's no bells or whistles, but because of the 3 issues I mentioned, this isn't an overwhelming win for me. I like the style, I really like how it looks, which again is why I still own it, but I think the functionality and the durability could be improved. Next up is my Strathbury Nano, and I thought I'd include this in this video because even though you can technically wear this all year round, I do feel like it's more suited to spring summer just because of how small it is. I did try and wear it in winter, but it looks especially tiny because it is so small with bulky outer layers. So if I had a big old coat on or a jacket, it just looked so small, and I felt like it made me look bigger as a result. So for me, this is more one for lighter layers when you can balance things out a little bit more. I have spoken about this bag before and I do really like it. I think for the money, it is beautiful quality. It's still priced at a luxury price point, but it isn't thousands of pounds. The actual design is lovely. The branding is lovely as well. You have the little Strathbury logo right there. I do love the bar, not very practical. So again, this isn't one that's a super carefree and easy bag, but you do get used to it. And then it just opens up with a magnetic closure, and you actually can fit a decent amount aside considering it is a very tiny bag. So I love this. The wear and tear has actually been really good as well. You know, the leather seems to have done pretty well, all things considered. I have one little mark on the back and that's it, and I have used this quite a few times. Leather is beautiful, overall design quality is fantastic, and even though it's obviously quite a small bag, if you are quite minimal with your belongings, I actually think this is a lovely choice. And I think as soon as you feel it in person, you do kind of get struck by what nice quality it is. So I'd recommend this. You have to know whether you're bothered by things like the bar, but if you're not, then I would recommend. I think it's a lovely choice. I also wanted to quickly mention color transfer because that's a question that I still get all the time. I have talked about it before, but it's just a constant question. So I color lock all of my jeans, and so color transfer really isn't an issue. I don't have color transfer on I think any of my bags, and I will either color lock my jeans with usually Scotchgard or otherwise Colonel Pro, or I'll do that and I will also spray my bags if I feel like they are particularly susceptible to color transfer, and I just don't have any issues as a result of that. So it's really easy. You can just order Scotchgard from Amazon, just spray your jeans, spray your bags if you want to. It locks the color in place and you just don't have to worry about color transfer. So color transfer isn't an issue with any of these bags for me as a result of that. Next up is my Saint Laurent Circle bag, and I love this bag so much. I talked about this in a recent video, but I've really been enjoying it. I can't talk too much about wear and tear because I have not had it long enough to do that, but I would say that I've only had excellent experiences with the Saint Laurent grain leather, and it is that kind of pebbled grain leather, which I'm just assuming is going to be very durable and hard wearing. I would say though that I wouldn't recommend this bag universally because even though I love it and I think it's great for me, I don't think it will be great for everyone. The flaws I kind of mentioned in that video was the size, so it fits less than I think it looks like it might. I can fit in my phone, which is the iPhone XS, but that's it. You won't be able to fit your phone in if you have a bigger size. And along with my phone, I can fit in comfortably a small card holder, my little kind of key pouch, and then some makeup, and that's it. So it's a mini size. The opening is not very big at all. You do have the one little pocket, but it's a mini bag, so keep that in mind. But with that said, I think this is a lovely choice if you are happy to really go minimal with your belongings. I think it's a beautiful quality bag as well. The chain has a nice weight to it, but it's very comfortable because of the leather strap. And I just love the look. I think it's so gorgeous. I think it's very striking, quite different as well to other styles I have in my collection. And I just think it's beautiful. So big fan of this. Again, can't comment on the wear and tear, but for everything else, I love it for me personally, but you do have to balance that with the functionality and the size issues. And then finally for this section, I wanted to talk this Tory Burch crossbody. This is one that I'm not actually sure is still available, but they always have kind of updated models. I got this one during the Nordstrom anniversary sale, and there should actually be quite a few Tory Burch sales happening right now, so I will link what I can. But I do think that there is something to be said for just a nice Tory Burch crossbody. I do find them to be great quality, and I find them to be luxurious but not so crazy expensive that I freak out about how they're going to wear. Because even though summer should be fine in terms of, you know, weather and the elements, I find that often bags in summer just tend to get dirtier a lot quicker. I guess because you're more likely to have lighter colours and things are sticky, and I feel like things just happen during these summer months. So I do like a bag which I'm just not going to have to worry about too much, but it's still nice enough quality that I'm going to really enjoy it. And for me, this just kind of ticks all those boxes. This is the really nice kind of pebbled grain leather, which I love from Tory Burch. This is my favourite kind of leather from them. I have my tote bags in it and it's just so durable and just lovely quality. This one is just a zip style and it opens up. It is a wallet on chain style, so you do have the card slots right there. It's pretty fuss free, you know, there aren't too many bells and whistles, but it does the job. You know, it's actually very, very roomy, so you can fit in all your essentials. You can pop in a small wallet if you wanted to. You do have that great chain as well, so it is a little bit more dressy, but you have the leather strap to make it very comfy, and it's just a very, very comfortable, very easy to wear, go anywhere bag where you can wear it just errand running, but you can also wear it to dinner as well. So I think these are great. Tory Burch always seem to produce variations of this because they are so popular, and I think they're a really solid buy if you do want a go anywhere bag. Next up are shoulder bags, and first up I wanted to talk my Chanel Deauville Tote, which I love so much. This was such a great buy, and this was the one Chanel purchase because I feel like I try to qualify my Chanel purchases as much as possible because they are so pricey. You know, they're the price of like 4 Louis Vuitton bags at least, so they're always really big purchases. This one less so than others. I think this was about £1,300. I got it from Heathrow, but still an awful lot of money for something like this, but it's really worked out and I've really just been enjoying it so much. I've used it a surprising amount as well. This one is really only spring summer for me because of just the overall look. I think it just looks like a spring summer bag, but I find it to be very, very comfortable. This isn't one that I wear for work just because I do feel like it's more of a holiday casual time bag. It is a shoulder bag style, so this is the smaller one. You can get the larger size with the top handle, so that's a nice option if you like to have the dual option of carrying it. I'm just good with the shoulder strap though. It's how I like to wear most of my bags, so I find this very, very comfortable just to pop on my arm. It has a nice drop length as well, so it's very, very comfortable to wear, and you do have that very large Chanel sign, which I know won't be for everyone, but I really love it. Mine is obviously in quite a delicate color, but I've had no issue. I mentioned how I fixed color transfer earlier, but even just in terms of general dirt, it's done totally fine, and I've taken this on planes, on holiday. It's just done great, so absolutely no complaints. I haven't actually sprayed this bag either. I was a little bit scared to, and I've not needed to because it's just done amazingly well. The durability has surprised me. It's very functional. I feel like I can team it with a whole bunch of different things, and I think it's great. And then the other tote bag I wanted to mention was my Louis Vuitton Neverfull, which I'm only going to talk about very briefly because heaven knows I've spoken about this bag a lot, but I love it. I've loved it ever since I got it. I've had it for I think maybe 3 years now, coming up to that. I've used it very consistently. It has a very nice patina on it, although not as much as I think, to be fair, considering how much I've used this. I use this during winter as well. I know some people think of this only as a spring summer bag, but I don't care. I just use it all year round. It fits a very decent amount. You know, the Neverfulls are known for their capacity. This is just the size, and for me this is just the quintessential summer tote bag. It's good for work, it's good for casual. I take this on holiday. I just take it everywhere. I love it. So nothing more to say. Would highly recommend. 10 out of 10 if you like this style. I just wouldn't even hesitate. I think it's wonderful. In terms of the wear and tear, I should actually mention the interior. The interior gets horrifically dirty, like really, really bad. I have tried sponging it out, but to be honest, I don't think there's any saving it. So that is something you have to keep in mind. I don't really mind it that much though, just because it's one of those things and it's on the inside of the bag. Obviously the vachetta does get marks on it, but it doesn't bother me nearly as much as on the crochet, and the canvas is pretty much indestructible. So it doesn't stop me from giving it a 10 out of 10 rating. I love this bag. I feel like I always will. My next category are novelty summer bags, and I'm not talking here about animal shaped bags or anything like that, but really specific styles which are only suitable for warmer weather. So here I'm thinking of basket bags, wicker bags, that sort of thing. And first up I do have my Prada kind of straw weave bucket bag, and if you follow my hits and misses videos you may be familiar with this because I did feature it in one of those, but I'm not a huge fan of this bag, if I'm being honest. I love the look of it, which is why I bought it, but in terms of actually pairing it with items, I always find it a little bit too big. And you know, when I am reaching for this bag, it's usually when I'm wearing something pretty lightweight. So it's going to be a summer dress or a summer skirt, usually a pair of sandals. And this always just feels a little bit too big and businesslike, even with the combination. So that is definitely a warning I would give anyone looking at this line. Prada do a lot of beautiful basket and wicker bag styles, but I would be very, very conscientious of the size and how it's going to fit in with the type of outfits you're going to be likely to wear with it, because every time I reach for this, I'm like, wow, that bag just looks way too big with what I'm wearing. So for that reason, I've not been getting on with it that well. It hasn't gotten a lot of use. It was an expensive style, so this definitely was a costly mistake. But even though I love it, I can't really even talk about wear and tear because I've not used it enough. But for actual style and just versatility, this does not do very well for me at all. I just don't find it very easy to pair. And next up on my kind of novelty summer bag list is my ARC tote. And I feel like it doesn't get any more novelty and summer appropriate than this bag. And I feel like the craze for this bag has definitely kind of calmed down. But at the same time, I think it's still a decent buy, and I actually really like mine. It does help that it didn't cost hundreds and hundreds of pounds. If it did, then I would probably have a different view of it, but I think this costs a little bit over 100, and usually you can find some kind of discount code to use on it. I really like mine, and I quite frequently take it abroad when I do actually go abroad and kind of on summer holiday. And I think for a beach or a pool style, I think it's super fun. You know, this isn't really one that I'd use in the city. It just feels a little bit weird for that, for me personally. But for a summer holiday bag, I think it's really fun, you know. I'm not as bothered about people seeing the inside of my bag when it's just, you know, sunscreen and a bit of money and that sort of thing. And I just think it's a really, really nice addition to a lot of vacation ready style. So I really like it. Not an essential one by any means, but if you did like the style, then I've really been happy with mine. And then finally for this category, I wanted to talk my Ulla Johnson Basket Bag, and I don't actually think that they produce this exact one anymore, but I thought I'd talk about the overall style because a lot of different brands and stores do very similar bags. So I like this, kind of similar to my ARC bag though. I'd say that it's very limited. This one was a great deal more than that bag though. So this was, I think, $3.50 or something like that. And for that money, I don't think it was worth it. And I think that it's a very novelty type bag in that it's not super practical and versatile to use. And I always overestimate how much I'm going to reach for bags which aren't always super practical. I always think that, oh, you know, I'm just going to use this on a nice summer's day. And even though I could use it on a nice summer's day, it's very rare that I'm actually in the mood for a not very practical bag. You know, whether that's going out in the city or even going on holiday, it's very rare that I don't have stuff to carry and that I want a bag that isn't actually that easy to get in and out of. And I feel like this kind of bag is better suited to like a travel Instagrammer, for example, less good for someone who just carries a bag as a functional part of their life. So I like it. I think it's an adorable style, but there's just better ways to spend your money. I think if you did want something like this, I would definitely go for a high street option where, you know, if it doesn't work out, you've only spent 20 or 30 pounds. This one wasn't that cheap, and even though it's adorable, it's just not functional enough for me to justify the purchase. And finally, for my last section, I'm talking wallet on chains or clutch styles. And I feel like out of all the months in the year, it's always the warmer months when I get the most use out of my really tiny bags, especially when it comes to wallet on chains. And so first up, I do have my Saint Laurent wallet on chain, which you guys probably know if you follow me for a while, but I love this bag. It's my go-to event clutch, and most kind of events and weddings and things happen in summer. It's fantastic. It's just a good size. This is the larger one. This one does have a shorter chain, so I don't wear this crossbody. It's just too short for me. I am 5'7", so I find that it does sit a bit too high, but I tend to only wear this on the shoulder when I need to, and otherwise just as a clutch. But for an event clutch, I think it's pretty much flawless. I adore the look of it. It goes with pretty much everything. It's very, very durable as well. The leather is fantastic. I think it's very classic looking. I've had this for quite a few years, and I just feel like it has a very timeless look to it. So I love it, but because of the length of the chain, I wouldn't say that this is the most versatile. For an evening clutch or an event clutch, it's great, but for kind of casual everyday use, I don't feel like this is the one. And then speaking of wallet on chains, I do have my Chanel one here as well, which I do love, but I would say that in terms of all the wallet on chain styles out there, there really isn't that much difference. You know, I have a Gucci one as well, a Mulberry one, and there are slight differences, but overwhelmingly they're the same kind of bag. So when deciding between them, it's really going to come down to one, your budget, because there are quite big price differences, and two, just which one you like the look of most and which brand you love the most. So Not a huge difference between them, but I do think it's a great summer bag style. This one is just kind of a standard wallet on chain. You know, it has the card slots there, it has a zip pocket, you have a little pocket on the front. I would say the thing with the Chanel wallet on chains is that the chain is always very, very long. You know, certainly I'm 5'7", and even I prefer the chain to be a little bit shorter than it is. That said, I do know there are fixes. I know that you can loop it round if you are more on the petite side, but for me, I would prefer if these chains were adjustable or just a little bit shorter. That said, I do still think these are great styles. I will almost always take a wallet on chain with me when I go on holiday now, just because, you know, they are very lightweight, very easy to wear, and just the perfect city bag if you're exploring, if you have a lot to do. This is just a great style. And finally, the last bag in my last category is my Caillou clutch, and I love this thing. This isn't a wallet on chain, so it is a proper kind of clutch, albeit it does have a chain as well. And this was just such a great buy. I really love it. It is expensive for the materials, I guess, because you're not getting leather. But that said, I love the fact that it's not leather because, one, it looks very holiday ready. It's also very, very light, and I just think it's a beautiful bag and pretty different from everything else that I have in my collection. You do just have this beautiful jewel detail which opens and closes the bag. It's actually fairly roomy as well, so you can easily fit in your phone. It's just got plenty of room inside. It opens and closes in quite a satisfying way as well, which I do enjoy. And this is just the perfect vacation bag. I do take this with me quite frequently because I always go out to dinner a ton when I'm on holiday, like most people. It's by far the time that I have the most dinner dates. And this is just a really nice evening option. You know, it's very neutral, so it does go with everything. It's very luxurious, but it's not thousands and thousands of pounds to the point where I'm going to stress about it getting dirty or having a drink spilled on it. So I can enjoy the bag in its entirety, and I just think it's gorgeous. So I'm a huge fan of this. You know, it's definitely not the flashiest of bags at all, but it's one that I feel like I'm going to have in my collection for years. Even though it is a weave style, it's done pretty well in terms of wear and tear. There are no obvious marks. I do think they have a slightly kind of more fabric weave style as well, so that's another option, but overall I feel like this is a lovely one, especially for spring summer. And then finally, I'm sharing my ultimate summer bag edit. So the 4 styles I would pick if I was only gonna have 4 bags. I am going by category, but I am also fudging the categories a little bit as well. So for crossbody styles, I think I'd probably go for my Saint Laurent circle bag. But that said, if I was looking beyond this video at my whole collection, I'd also probably just go for my Chanel mini or something that isn't particularly suited to summer, but is a style that I gravitate towards a lot during the summer months. So love my Saint Laurent circle bag, and out of the picks here, this would probably be the one. But otherwise, I would probably go for either a Chanel small flap or a Chanel mini. In terms of totes, no surprise, but I would go for my Louis Vuitton Neverfull. I love my Chanel Deauville Tote so much, but if I'm looking for maximum versatility, this would just be it. I can wear this not only during holidays and vacations, but I can also use it for work as well. So for that reason, this bag will always win. For the wallet on chain style, I would go for my Chanel wallet on chain. This is the Reissue one. I mentioned how much I love my Saint Laurent clutch, and I do, but if I was only picking one, I would go for maximum versatility, and this one can be used both as a clutch but also as a crossbody style with the chain, whereas the Saint Laurent chain is just a little bit too short for me to do that. So this wins for that reason, but as I mentioned, there's not much in it in terms of the other wallet on chain styles I own. I just particularly love the Reissue style at the moment. And then finally, for my novelty summer bag category, I'm fudging the rules a little bit, and I picked my Caillou clutch, which I'm a huge fan of, you've gathered that, but it's a really great summer bag choice, and especially for its versatility as well. You know, I have talked about how much I enjoy using this on holiday, but I also feel like it would be a great one to use just on a city day as well. And that isn't true of every kind of specifically summer bag, you know, especially even like the bigger tote bags, which really you can only wear those whilst on holiday, otherwise they might look a little bit out of place in the city even in summer. This one is subtle enough to have that great vacation look, so you can take on holiday with you, but you can also very easily wear it out to dinner in the city as well. So I love this for that reason. It's very easy to pack as well because of how lightweight and small it is. It still packs a decent amount, and I just think it's a really timeless and elegant looking bag, which even though it's very on trend in terms of summer looks, it's something that you'll be able to bring out year after year. So that is it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this roundup of my favourite and least favourite spring summer bags. If you have any questions for me, then leave me a comment down below. As I mentioned, I will include links to everything in the description section. If you enjoyed the video, please do give this a thumbs up, and as always, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.